I'm afraid there's not much new in this. After 15 years in charge, this government is looking very, very tired. The report doesn't properly reflect the government's failed industrial intervention policies at places like Lochaber and at BIFAB. Thousands of jobs were promised that have just not materialised. The report doesn't cover that. So can I ask the Cabinet Secretary, how is Scotland going to exploit the jobs potential of offshore wind if we can't even find enough workers to build the 8 jackets for the NNG wind farm in the Forth? How on earth is that going to happen?
Cabinet Secretary.
In terms of Willie Rennie's first point about how much is new in here, again I would offer the invitation to him that if he thinks we are missing something major in the strategy, tell me. If you think we should remove something from the strategy, tell me. But otherwise, that is just rhetoric. And in terms of the position on Lochaber, I know for a fact as a constituency MSP that we saved jobs that wouldn't have been saved had we not intervened. But he asks a really important question, and I would refer him perhaps to the second programme of action in terms of new markets, because he's right that with ScotWind comes the opportunity of up to £1 billion being invested in every gigawatt of energy that is produced. And the strategy here very specifically and methodically looks at how we reap the benefits of that beyond what has been done to date. How do we develop the supply chain? And there's 3 areas I'd point him to. First of all, is the private sector funding. We have a world-renowned financial services sector. We need to align that with the funding that's required. So the private sector funding that's required. Secondly, and to do that, the First Minister is chairing an investor panel. The second point is around supply chain, developing the supply chain. The commitment is there from these developers that have won the bids to develop the supply chain. We need to make sure we support businesses to be there. And my last point here is around ultimately delivering on all that's required in terms of the investment and the supply chain and making it joined up. And again, in the strategy, you'll see a very joined-up approach so that we ultimately reap the benefits of a significant investment in the world's largest commercial offshore floating wind farms.